What's going on, Ventrick here? Today I'm going to walk you through what I go through to decide if a card is counterfeit or real when purchasing high-end reserve list cards or any card that's over $50 for that matter. All right, here we go. So in front of you, I have some cards. I have a Bantu's Last Reckoning, kind of a control card. Just a control card for this little test here. I've got a Beta Chaos Orb that I picked up back in 1994 or 1995. Traded an Abyss and a bunch of dual lands for it. Did I do well? Did I do horrible? Got a couple of unlimited ancestral recalls here. One is real, one is fake. The real one I bought back in December, and then we've got a couple of time vaults here. One is real, one is fake. One of them I have owned since 1994. Okay, so first things first. Magic cards, no tests. Don't use any one test to determine this. You want to get a couple of different tests and correlate the results together to ensure that there are no like red herrings anomalies that are affecting you. So first off is weight. Generally, a magic card is going to weigh somewhere between like 1.71 to like 1.74 grams. If you get down into the 1.6s or up into the 1.8s, that should be a red flag. So we're just going to turn on our handy scale here. It measures to the 100th of a gram. So we're going to start off with the Bantu's Last Reckoning here. And as we can see, that's 1.72 grams, right where we want to be. Let's look at this Chaos Orb. 1.46. Wow, that is low. Uh-oh. Sirens are going off in the background here. We may have got scammed. We got this one here. 1.65 on this Ancestral. Again, that's a little low. Little on the low end. Let's grab this other Ancestral here. We're at 1.72. That's in the range we want. We're going to grab this Time Vault here. 1.59. Yeah, we're a little light there. A little light. Oh, we're kind of scales kind of a little off there. I'm just going to reset it. I'm going to weigh this again. Still 1.63. Definitely on the light end. And we're back to 0 there. And we're going to weigh this Time Vault here. 1.73. So we're good here. Again, cards can be a little bit lighter if they have a lot of wear, if like they're damaged and missing some parts. So that's one thing to take into account. But as we can see, so right now, if we do these, we've got left side, think they're fake. They all weigh too little. Right side, they're all weigh about the same. So that's our first test done. Again, you don't use any one test. We're gonna go into our second test now. Generally, I'm not gonna have a USB microscope with me when I'm out buying cards. What I will have is a jeweler's loop, little like a 20 times, 40 times thing that I will use. It's not going to work well for the camera, so I've set up my USB microscope here. So let's just kick on the microscope and I'll show you kind of some of the things I look for. So first off, I'm going to grab my real ancestral recall here, or the one that we think is real. And y'all hear a lot of people talk about the green dot test. So let's do the green dot test. Green dot test. All right, we're going to look at the green dot here. As you can see, on the green dot, there's a couple different things you look for. First off, in the white section at the top, you can see there is a red L made. There's an L made from 4 red dots. That's a good sign. You want to see that. Now, if it's not there, that doesn't mean the card is fake. But if it is there, you're pretty well sure it's going to be real because, as far as I know, no counterfeiters have copied that yet. But we're going to look at a couple other things. I also like to look at the bottom of the green dot. You can see the circle isn't completely circle. It's flat at the bottom, and you've got kind of like 4 little dots in there where the pixels are. What I'm going to do, right now I'm at like 50 times zoom. I'm going to zoom right in here to 150 times zoom. Just give me a second here. So again, we can see there's our red L I was talking about. And then if we go down to the bottom, you can see the bottom of the circle is flat. And we've got like 4 pixels in it. We've got like a red one, a white one, a blue one, a brown one. Don't really worry about the colors there. That can change, but I kind of look for that flat bottom and making sure that that you can see the 4 pixels there. Some other things people will look at as I zoom back out here and get this in focus is the yellow dots. So in the green dot, you got some yellow dots that go between the black. The black, you're going to kind of see a honeycomb pattern from the rosette, but some green dots or some yellow dots that go between the black and the white part. Some people will count the number of dots, look at the pattern of the dots. If that pattern is different for the yellow dots, or there's more or less, then you could be looking at a fake. So we're going to look at now that we've looked at the back of this card, we're going to pull our, what we think is a fake Ancestral Recall, and we'll do the same thing. We'll look at the green dot on this. Would you look at that? That's a mess. There's like red all over the place. The bottom is all blurry. You don't see that flat line. So yeah, so that's major, 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 like, danger Will Robinson. Not looking good. And then the next thing, we're going to look at the front of the card. So we're going to look at the front of this fake Ancestral and look at the mana symbol. Okay, so what we're expecting here is we're expecting to see solid black printed over top. So as you can see in this case, you can see dots through it. We're going to come back to that on the real one. And then we also look at the print, and we can see the black was not printed over top. Whereas if we pull the real one in, look at the mana symbol, crisp black ink over top. Can't see the rosette through it. And down here, text again, crisp black ink over top. Cannot see the rosette through it. And as I mentioned before, we always want to compare like to like. So we're not even going to look at this time vault. I know this is fake. I'll just show you quickly, like look at that. That's the fake time vault. We're going to look at my real known good time vault from 1994. And if we look at the dot, you can see again the red L. You can see the flat on the black. You can see solid black in the casting cost again. And the print a little bit worn off because this card was played. I played with this card with no sleeves on tables with no play mats, so got a little messed up. I can say got shuffled this way with no sleeves as well. So that looks good. Now we're gonna go to this poor old Beta Chaos Orb that I traded so much for back in the day, because in 1994, 1995, we didn't know about counterfeits. We didn't think someone could print these off. Now looking at it, it's so, I can tell so much, but 19-year-old me didn't know. This one was actually done pretty good for back in the day. So if you look at the green dot, again, you can tell it doesn't have that flat part on the bottom, but a lot of it looks good. It doesn't have the red L. Again, the red L can be there. It can be very faint. Look at the front. Again, you can kind of, like, they did a good job on this, other than the weight is way off. But yeah, again, you can kind of see through the black here. So like, this was fake. I got robbed back in 1994, 95. Last one, look at the Bantus. Just because I want to show you the hologram. Some people may know this. I've showed it to some people. Some people don't understand, don't know it. But if you look at the hologram on these, like, inside the hologram, you can see the micro print where it says Wizards. You've got some of them have mana symbols, but then on the Planeswalker symbols, generally it'll say Wizards in micro print. The hologram is also going to be sunken into the card. You can kind of see where the paper fragments go over the hologram. If the hologram's raised above the card, yeah, you might be in trouble. So that's just what I wanted to show. And this is a newer card. And if we look at it, at the green dot, again, we can see the red L. That is consistent. Some fakes also, very early fakes, like all Magic cards have this issue right here. In the top left, there's this print problem. It's on every Magic card. Some of the original fakes do not have that error on the card. So something to look at with very old fakes. So we've kind of gone through what I look for with the microscope or with my jeweler's loop. So let's kick back in here. And another thing I'll do next is a light test. So we know this one was really light. This was like 1.4. This paper is thin. I put a light up to it. Look at that. You can see right through it. No blue core. It's just pure white light coming through. I'm going to grab my good ancestral recall. And you can see, oops, I got on strobe there. See a little bit of light shining through. What you'll kind of want to see, a little bit of light. And then we're going to grab our fake ancestral recall. And you can see nothing comes through. The light is on. Nothing comes through. This is like a black core card. The blue core allows more light through. And so what you're going to look at, you won't be able to see it on camera, is on a good card, the glue pattern is going to be, there'll be a pattern to it. It's kind of like wavy, kind of like waves, but they're uniform. When you're getting into some beta cards, alpha, be wary of rebacks. I don't have any to show you, but under a light test, you're going to see blotchiness. You're going to see like dark blotches because they can't apply the the glue as good as they can in the factory when they're doing a reback. And the last test I'll do, again, your mileage may vary with this one, but we're just going to grab fake ancestral, real ancestral, fake chaos orb, and it's a blacklight test. It doesn't show up as well on camera. I'm going to kill my lights here. And we're going to put on the black light. And I don't know if you can see. I'm going to get them right side by side here. I don't know if you can see. Like, for me, it's night and day. I can tell night and day the different cards, like which one's the fake, which one's the real. But I don't know if you can kind of see here. So we got fake, real, fake. And if you kind of look, the fake one is a lot browner in the middle area, whereas this one's kind of more bluish, the real one. And then again, the fake one is a lot browner. The blacks on the edges don't show up the same. That doesn't really show up here. But when you're doing it to the naked eye, it's night and day. Now, there are some cards that do look differently under blue light, just as under black light, sorry. As time has gone on, different materials, different paper. Again, you must compare like for like, because if you're comparing different cards from different sets, they're gonna illuminate differently. So always compare like for like. And by that, I mean, like in this case, I used a time vault to compare with an ancestral. A known good time vault to compare with an ancestral. You don't need to do that. If you're buying unlimited power, just pick up some unlimited commons. They were printed at the same time. They can use the same paper, the same ink. I like to try and get ones that are the same color, just so I can kind of compare color for color. Like if I'm buying a time vault, then maybe I will grab a cheap artifact. Like, what's a cheap artifact? But yeah, grab a cheap artifact. Or like if I'm buying an ancestral, maybe I'll grab a twiddle. Just something cheap, not that expensive. Same thing goes with beta, with alpha. Pick up a common, fairly the same color, but as long as it's the same set, you'll be good to go. I think I've covered everything again. Always compare like for like. Compare same set to same set. Don't use any one test as a determining factor, because some cards will fail a test but still be legit. Urza Saga cards. I have Grim Monoliths that the green dot just has a splatter of red in it. It doesn't have the L, but they are good cards. It's just sometimes there's print problems, and you need to know that. Blacklight test, it was great forever, but like alternate fourth will definitely fail that. Modern Masters 2015 fails that. Just different print processes. But the big thing is, no matter what anybody tells you, do not do the bend test on a card, on a vintage card. This is 25-year-old paper. It will fail it eventually, and you're going to ruin your card. So no matter what anybody tells you, never do a bend test. And obviously never do a rip test, because then you've destroyed your card if it is real. Hope this is going to help you guys. If you have any other tips, I can't have covered everything. I'm sure I missed something. If you have any other tips that you want to share them in the comments. Until then, as always, be safe and have fun.